So I'm starting a new series, and this series stems from my last video I made was about how to start a marketing career. And I thought my next video in the series was going to be how to advance in your marketing career, and I still might do that as a specific video in the future. But what I've found is that really the best way to advance your marketing career is just to be a great marketer. And so now we're going to do a series on what are all the ways to be a great marketer. What are some of the skill sets that they have? And the first one I thought of is that to be a great marketer, you need to be an idea generator. You need to be so good at ideas that people basically want you around just for the fact that you're going to get them great ideas that can help them build strategies and have a great marketing campaign or just good marketing for their business in general. So today we're talking about what are 5 ways that you can become an idea powerhouse. So the importance of this is that a lot of businesses, especially these days, have become what are called idea meritocracies, which is you're going to do better in your career the more ideas you generate that get results. And so hopefully your business is like that. If not, it's a lot more fun if you work for a company that is an idea meritocracy or just somewhere that you can be creative. So I have this notebook here, and that's important because my first tip is that you want to write down ideas as they come up. So when I was coming up with this video, I wrote down all 5 ideas on this piece of paper. My wife bought me this notebook for Christmas like 2 years ago, and I just use it to throw ideas in here. And so it's like a notebook, but specifically for ideas. I even called it Idea Journal when I first got it. And so when you have ideas, you might be in the shower or something, but you need to make a mental note that as soon as you get access to pen and paper, you are going to write down that idea. So it doesn't matter if it's the best idea ever or it's an idea that might yield marginal results, you should still write it down because it gets your brain to pen to paper connection flowing. That's not a real thing. There's no such thing as a brain pen paper connection, but it is a habit that you can build over time by doing it a lot. So basically, once you do this over and over and over, write down ideas, you get a little bit of bank of ideas that you've come up with on the spot when you're inspired. And then I've found that it really makes it easier to start generating more ideas when you can go back and look at the ideas you've already made. So that's point number 1, write down ideas as they come up. But number 2 is force yourself to come up with ideas. So your creative muscles in your brain are just like anything else. If you are trying to get better at lifting weights or doing sports or literally anything ever, you need to practice and keep those muscles working. So there is some use to forcing yourself to come up with ideas. These don't have to be ideas that are incredibly profitable or ideas that even are useful to your marketing team. You can force yourself to come up with ideas and train that the idea muscle just by writing down ideas for other stuff. So I honestly have filled this book with ideas for websites. Well, actually it's not full, but I've got a good 30 pages in there. Ideas for websites, ideas for articles, ideas for YouTube videos. And I've found that if I just sit there and force myself to write out an entire page, so that's like 10 to 20 ideas, usually I can fit on one page if they're small ideas, like small things. Sometimes I come up with an idea that I think is really good, and I'll write an entire page just about that one idea. But it's because I'm sitting there and forcing myself to do it that I come up with those ideas. Now, I'm talking about pen and paper literally, but to be honest, I've actually used a lot of digital tools. The only thing I will say is if you're sitting down to force yourself to write ideas on a Google document or on your phone, like Notepad on your phone, it is very distracting. And you can't think spatially as well as you can if you have a pen and paper, because you got full access to everything on the paper, whereas when you're using a phone, you just have access to the keyboard. So I do recommend using a pen and paper, and then you can copy those notes into your phone or anything like that if you need it. I actually have been using a combination of this book when I'm like on a trip or something. I have a Rocket book, which is like one where you can digitally copy everything. And then I also have my phone notepad that I use whenever I am writing down ideas that I come up with randomly. So number 3 is, and this is specific to marketers. So if you're looking for general idea advice. Number 1 and 2 are great, and maybe number 5 is great as well. But number 3 is to monitor the competition. So your competitors are hopefully cutting edge. If not, then, well, congratulations. You are going to quickly become the best person, the best industry, the best team out there, or the best business in your industry, sorry. But if your competitors are cutting edge, if your competitors are trying to generate ideas as well, they're going to come up with ideas that you don't come up with. And it can help you spark and be more creative when you look at what they're doing that's new that you haven't thought of. So oftentimes I'll look at a competitor and I'll see that they're doing something specific that we haven't thought of. And then I don't necessarily want to copy that exactly, because that's, first of all, consumers can see when two brands are exactly the same. But it does help you come up with ideas for ways, things you can test, things you can start to change slowly, and also things you can just come up with that are completely different than what they do. But you come up with that idea anyway, because it's just sparked by looking at what they're doing. So I do recommend that. And then 4, speak to other marketers. So even if you're talking to someone who is not in your industry, they are good marketers. They're probably idea generators themselves, and they can help you spark some ideas of your own. I've found that working with my coworkers and talking about ideas even outside of work, outside of our particular industry, has helped me to come up with ideas for YouTube channels, for websites, stuff like that, and has made me really productive at generating ideas for our marketing team as well. But yeah, for entrepreneurs out there, talking with other marketers is really useful in thinking of new things to build and to market. And number 5 is you need to be an expert. You don't necessarily need to know everything, know all the nitty gritties of everything, but you do need to be well researched, because the more you know about the topic of marketing, the more ideas you can come up with, the more you know what hasn't already been done. And also you can kind of have a data bank of ideas of things that could be worked on. So a good example would be, if you are an expert at creating ads for search, you might know that some of the key things you need to do are think of new ad copy, think of new campaign strategies, think of new campaign structures, new keywords to target, stuff like that. I would recommend becoming an expert on whatever marketing field you're in, and then also use all these idea tips, and it'll help you kind of combine those two things, expertise and also idea muscle. And whenever you have those two things, it really creates a powerful dynamic. So hopefully this video helps. I guarantee if you practice coming up with ideas, you are going to get much better at it, and you're going to become an idea machine for your team. I didn't even mention the brainstorming process and how some teams use brainstorming in meetings. This is more of an individual basis. How do you become an idea powerhouse? But if you want your team to come up with a lot of ideas, that's when you might want to start researching brainstorming. And hopefully that'll help your team just get out of ruts. If you're in a rut and you haven't come up with an idea in a while, then force yourself to do a brainstorming session. It can be kind of tedious and annoying, but if you do it right, you'll walk out of there with some good ideas and get the ideas flowing.
Attention! If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with enjoying this video, you may be entitled to smash the like button.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoyed, and let me know in the comments what areas of marketing you want to see next, things that you think will make you a powerful marketer. I have some ideas that I'm writing down right after this video that are in my head. And so I will be producing those videos soon. But if you have an idea or you know something that makes a great marketer, be sure to leave a nice comment for me, and I will get back to that. So thank you for watching. See you next video.